Hi there, this quick video just is looking at a way of engaging with your clients, looking at the key elements and an easy way to remember them using the acronym CAP. So what we're going to look at is three main elements. The first one, beginning with C, is change. Now when we communicate with potential clients, sometimes we can get caught up, particularly if we have a very technical service or product, with the features, with the technical features, which may not mean an awful lot to the client. Beyond that, of course, we can be adding the benefits, that is, looking at the features and saying, why is this important, and explaining that to the client. But really, what we need to think about is the headline, and that headline is, what change can this make to the client or potential client's life or business? You know, if we look at the case of a fitness trainer, they may discuss the features of particular exercises or particular nutrition and even identify the benefits. But really, what are people going to buy? They're going to buy that idea of a healthier lifestyle, of living longer, living without disease for longer, or looking better and feeling better. So that's the change we're trying to establish. And though it may seem obvious in the fitness and health area, you can also use it in the business area. So for example, if you're a web designer, you may look at the features of what you're using and the technology behind what you're using. You may even be linking that to the benefit to the user or the end user of the website. But really what we want to see is the headline. So for a business, that effective website means you have more clients coming in, you have more leads. This thing generating leads for you all the time, constantly, and the right type of leads. So that obviously makes a big difference to the business. So you're not just providing a website, you're not trying something static and unimportant to the business. You're really producing something that'll make a huge step change to them. The second letter, the A, or the alternatives. What are the alternatives for clients? Well, of course, the main alternative is they don't purchase our product or service, and that's where we have to identify what are their fears. So for somebody who's looking for a fitness trainer and is a bit hesitant, of course, the alternative is not, and to continue maybe an unhealthy lifestyle or a lifestyle lacking in the right amount of exercise. Similarly, for that business owner, maybe to not have a website or stick with a clunky website that is not producing the right results for them. And in both cases, these are the fears somebody has. You know, the business owner is being kept awake at night by the fact that where the next client is coming from. So it's important that we identify that and we understand that and give them permission to say, well, yeah, that's where a lot of people will be, but we have the alternative. We have that change which could significantly improve the alternative of the status quo, if you like. And the third letter is positioning, and this is one of the keys of marketing in many ways. It's positioning yourself as the expert in the field. Now, this is not just to do with showing testimonials or case studies, it's to do with a mindset. So, for example, if we just say, again, stick with a web designer, that what I wanted the web designer was to communicate was to say that the premier web designer in the country. But people are a bit nervous of doing that. They're a bit nervous of taking on that expert mantle, if you like, as if they're waiting for somebody else to do it for them. But the truth is, most experts are self-appointed. Nobody's waiting, none of these are waiting for some committee to anoint them as the expert, or for the expert fairy to come along, as Dan Kennedy would say, and sprinkle expert dust on them. They've decided that that's their mindset. They are the expert in this field. They're the go-to person. And as the go-to person, obviously that's where clients want to be associated with. And positioning brings more than just that expertise. It brings clarity, it brings confidence, the ability to do the job, and that level of control. So as I said, it's really to do with a mindset of showing, I can give you the clarity about what we're going to achieve here. I can show that I'm in control. I'm confident that the product is going to get the results, that change which you discussed earlier. So that's it. Really, it's all to do with thinking of those three aspects whenever you communicate with clients. What is the change you're providing? What are their alternatives and understanding of those? And how do you position yourself as being that expert for them to use? Any information, further information about any aspect of business growth, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I look forward to welcoming you onto another video. In the meantime, have a good day.